everybody, my name is Pixie333 and welcome to What's in My Wardrobe Part 8, and this one is books. I've got lots of books. Hopefully I'll go through this fast. Warhorse. Love this book, it is amazing. I'm definitely going to finish it. I think I'll read a bit tonight. But it's amazing. Michael Morpurgo's A Medal for Leroy. I read this with some of my friends. I've read this. I'll read the blurb to this book. So here's my reading. My heart was pounding. I knew even as I began to read that my life would be changed forever. Michael doesn't remember his father. He was an RAF pilot lost in the war, but that's all Michael knows, and his mother won't talk about him. But when Michael's Auntie Snowdrop gives him a medal and then a faded photograph, a story begins to be told. A secret story about his family and who Michael's father really was. A story that will change everything. Right, next one that I've already read. Friend or Foe? Let's read the blurb. Evacuated from London, David and Tucky feel like the war is a long way away from their new life in the countryside. Then one night the skyline of the moor is lit up with gun flashes, and the distant crump of bombing miles away brings the war back to them and shatters their newfound peace. I'm in the process of reading Private Peaceful, but I'll read it. It says, "They're gone now, and I'm all alone at last. I have the whole night ahead of me, and I won't waste a single moment of it. I want tonight to be long as my life." As young Tommy Peaceful looks back over his childhood from the battlefields of the First World War, his memories are full of family life deep in the countryside. But the clock is ticking, and every moment Tommy spends remembering how things used to be means another moment closer to something which will change his life forever. I've read Escape from Shangri-La. It says, Escape from Shangri-La. Popsicle had come out of nowhere, out of the blue, to be my grandfather, and nothing and no one would or could ever be the same again. Ceci is determined to help Papa remember his past, but how can she help when he only remembers in glimpses? A tin of condensed milk, a lifeboat, a woman named Lucy Alice, and a devastating night on the beaches of Dunkirk during World War II. Called Born to Run, The Many Lives of One Incredible Dog. It looks like this. There was something inside the bag, squeaking and squealing in terror. Patrick didn't think about it. He leapt into the canal. For best mate, being rescued is only the start of his adventures. From unwanted burden to favourite companion, and from pet to champion race dog, this remarkable greyhound proves that it's not just cats who have more than one life. Cats aside, kidnapped, or lived rough on the street, best mate can always find a way to survive. But will he ever find a real home? Farm Boy. Farm Boy is the sequel to Warhorse. It says, I come from a family of farmers going back generations and generations. I love Grandpa's farm. When I was younger, I'd go down there whenever I could. But I didn't just go for the farm. I went for Grandpa and this story too. But Grandpa had a secret so shameful, he kept it to himself all these years. I've not read it, so I don't know. Shadow. Oh, look at that. That's a cool picture. Right, it says, a superb tropical animal tale in the same vein as Warhorse Guardian. Never has a man needed a friend more than when a Springer Spaniel appears in the mouth of his Afghan cave. The dog becomes a constant companion, a shadow, and that's what a man decides to call her. But life becomes more dangerous by the moment. Eventually a man and Shadow find the courage to leave, but how far can Shadow lead them? And in the terrifying new world, is anywhere really safe? Oh, my mum's got it. Kanzuki's Kingdom. Really good book. My mum's currently reading it. It's set in, I think it was Japan or China, one of those countries. Next one is The Amazing Story of Adolphus Tips. I'm actually going to read this one after Farm Boy. So it says, it's 1943. Lily lives on a farm in the seaside village of Slapton, and her life is scarcely touched by the war, until one day when the villagers are all told to move out of their homes, lock, stock and barrel. Soon the whole area is out of bounds as the Allied forces prepare to invade France. But Tips, Lily's adored cat, has other ideas and returns to the forbidden area. Frantic to find her, Lily decides to enter the danger zone to look for Tips herself. So they're both in trouble, basically. I really like the font as well. Look at the font. The font's different to usual. I like that font. Anyway, that one. That's what I'm gonna have to do. This will be part 8, all the Michael Morpurgo books. Part 9 will be the other books. Part 10 will be other stuff, because this is going to take a while. This is the next book. This is probably the biggest book he's ever wrote. It's called Running Wild. It is amazing. Okay, and it says, the elephant lifted her trunk and began trumpeting at the sea. She swung around and I held on for dear life as she stampeded into the shadows of the jungle. For Will and his mother, going to Indonesia on holiday is a chance to put things behind them and have some fun. But then the elephant Will is riding on the beach begins acting strangely. That's when the tsunami comes crashing in and the elephant begins to run. Except that when the tsunami is gone, Will's elephant just keeps on running. Just keeps on running. Never stops. It's called The King of the Cloud Forest, the next one. It's amazing. It says, when Japan invades China, Ashley and Uncle Sung are forced to flee. It is a perilous journey across the Himalayas and they struggle to survive. Then Ashley is captured. Who are these strange creatures that revere him as their king? So that must be Ashley. There's Ashley. This one is The War of Jenkins' Ear. It says, and Jenkins don't cross over. Village fishing on the other side. They stay their side, we stay ours. Toby Jenkins doesn't like boarding school. He gets called Jinx and thinks he'll never fit in. But then he meets Christopher, who claims to have special powers. When the village oiks start a war with the school toffs, Toby is caught in the middle. Can Christopher provide the miracle that Toby needs? Right, the next one is The Wreck of the Zanzibar. We all knew what was going to happen. We'd seen it before. A ship about to founder staggers before she falls. A huge wave broke over her stern and she did not come upright again. Life on the Scilly Isles in 1907 is bleak and full of hardship. Laura's twin brother Billy disappears and then a storm devastates everything. It seems there's little hope. That is until the Zanzibar is wrecked on the island's rocks and everything changes. I'm excited to read that one. This last one is a cartoon. It's called Little Manfred. It says, Little Manfred always seemed more important to Mum than to anyone else. But I didn't discover why until that summer on the beach. Charlie and her little brother Alex are walking their dog Manfred on the beach when they notice 2 old men staring out to sea. A chance encounter brings them together and slowly Charlie and Alex learn of their mother's past and the friendships that can be formed in the most difficult of circumstances. In Imperial War Museum, London, is a wooden dachshund carved by a German prisoner of war who was working on a British farm after the fighting ended. This is the story of how it got there. So I hope you enjoyed this video, everyone. Please give it a thumbs up if you do. Put in the comments whether you've read any of those books and whether you think it is worth reading. And I'll see you all next time. Bye!